Thank you.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. What better way to start rivalry weekend than the Revolutionary War reenactment during halftime down at our the Chanticleers football game. That's some pretty fun.
That's
stuff.
An interesting twist on a halftime performance.
Yeah, we're going to talk about being thankful. We're going to talk about rivalries. We're going to talk about our big dub over the Gamecocks, being thankful for our veterans. Wait a minute. Time out. Breaking. We have breaking news. We have some information on Lane Kiffin and what he I think he had cheese grits. According to sources, he had cheese grits for breakfast. Okay. Just in case anybody was wondering. All right. We're thankful for being bowl eligible. We're thankful that my wife is cancer-free, and we'll also discuss some college football playoff stuff and more. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of Greenville Sports Media Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, Greenville Sports Media is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts, the latest articles, and other sports media at greenvillesportsmedia.com, who can also be found on all forms of social media. Just like the Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
And the official place to get your food, sports, spirits, and catering for the state champions, with two locations around the upstate, 1083 Batesville Road in Greer, 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont, South Carolina, is Reuben's. You can find them at their website at ReubenC.com. Reuben's is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans, especially state champions.
Especially, I mean, if there's any champion besides the Tigers, it's definitely Reuben's Wings. Okay, so we didn't have a show last week, and we always talk about the tailgate. And all we're going to say, so last week, we're going in chronological order here. Clemson, the Veterans Day game versus the Furman Paladins. There's no proof of what happened at that tailgate, because it was an all-ladies tailgate.
Or as one of the CW announcers called them, the Paladins.
The Paladins.
Do some homework, buddy.
Bless. All right, so anyway, I'm sure lots of fun was had at that tailgate, but there is no evidence what happens when Jay is in charge of a tailgate stays at the tailgate, right?
I will say that my son said she was an amateur.
Oh.
And he said James Dillard and Bailey Jackson know how to do a tailgate. He said, Dad, I walked up, the speaker wasn't even playing, there was no music. He said it didn't even feel the same.
Oh, bless.
I said, well, we'll work on that, son.
I got a text from somebody that said, hey, man, somebody's in your spot.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I heard they had a great time. We're grateful. Thanksgiving, right after we talked about being grateful for veterans before. And the other thing is, and I don't have a picture of this either, but Clemson landed the coolest picture of a flyover ever. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
They weren't inverted. Can't go Top Gun on them or anything, but that was awesome. That was awesome. And we're thankful that we're bowl eligible. Thanks to that game, we got our 6th victory on the season, and we'll come back to talking about bowl games later. So this week, Bailey, how did you have fun celebrating Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we actually had everybody at our house for the first time ever. And I did a lot of cooking. I had two turkeys, one Cajun, one roasted regular turkey. They were outstanding, and all the dishes and sides that go along with that. So, yeah, we had a good time.
Nice.
I had a lot of leaves to blow this past week. That's what I've been doing.
Well, home ownership with
and my parents' and my aunt's house.
Great power comes great responsibility. We had a good time. Went to the in-laws on Thanksgiving Day and had my parents and my brother and our families together here at our house on Saturday for Thanksgiving, right at kickoff time. And I did not do that on purpose. And at first I was like, well, that's kind of I messed up.
That would be canceled.
Well, it turned out great. We put a TV in the dining room. Okay, you know how we roll. We had, you got the kids' table and you had the adults' table, and they could see the big TV in the living room. But we moved the TV that we have at the tailgate. We put that in the dining room, and when I saw your text about the commentator, so the whole game our volume was way down because we were still talking and enjoying each other's company like Thanksgiving, but at the same time, I did feel bad for Melanie just a little bit, the sole Carolina fan in the whole group. I mean,
that's her problem.
Entire family.
That's her problem.
So, but yeah, we ended up watching the game in the living room and talking and enjoying each other's company while we enjoyed the Clemson victory.
Melanie, if you're listening, it's not too late.
It's not,
to convert.
It's the only time she pulls for Carolina. Cole was here, so that was fun, and Reese, Jason's son. So we had a little crowd, some boyfriends and girlfriends. It was good. So we ate too much and then cheered just enough for the victory. Speaking of the victory,
what you want to know about
that? So we're going to talk about the game real quick, like we always do. I saw a quote from Coach Danny Ford. People, what do you think about the game coming up?
He was he was on a podcast, and I saw the video.
Yes. And he said this sounds like something Danny Ford would say. Neither team is good enough to win.
He said there's going to have to be a bad play, something going to have to happen. Because not to be critical, but neither one of these teams is good enough to beat the other.
Yeah.
Not so fast, my friend.
Well, I'm gonna say Coach Ford was correct because, we made a mistake. They score touchdowns. They make mistakes. We score touchdowns. It literally, and there were times the two teams played good. We know those two teams are good teams, and there were plenty of plays that were well executed by both teams, but it was the turnovers and the missed tackles on their part, and then the blown coverages and whatnot on our part.
Well,
is what put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and you know what? That's part of the game, by the way.
That's true.
I thought Clemson was better than South Carolina. That was the first game in a while where you go, hey, it looks like we got guys running open. We're making throws. We missed 2 throws in the first quarter. One of them was a touchdown, and one of them should have been a touchdown, was an interception. But after that, man, it wasn't terrible.
No.
And you knew they were going to fight back. I mean, when it was 20-14, I was worried that it was going to be Heartbreak City because we had to settle for field goals instead of putting them in the end zone. Now, 25 first downs for Clemson, 17 for South Carolina. We were 7 out of 17 on third down. They were 1 out of 11. Total yards were about the same. They actually had more total yards. They had 381 yards passing, but one of the 80 yards of that's on one play, basically. But we had 147 yards rushing. They had 41, and they had the majority of that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But then time of possession, 38 minutes to 21 and some change. So bottom line is 4 turnovers, 4 takeaways, call them what you want to. That's what they are. They're takeaways.
That's it. I mean, they were definitely, especially that pick 6, that was a Carl's turnover. You get your hand in there, pop the ball up.
It was a great defensive play. The ball popped up in the air. Guess what?
Play.
Same thing happened last year on a tip ball.
Except worked out for them.
Right in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, I heard Todd Ellis's call. He said, and Clemson gets their revenge from last year. So
yeah, it ain't revenge when you won 9 out of the last 11, 74, 44, and 4.
It's on. So anyway, last point about the game for real. And we said this when we were watching the game. Their defense, the time of possession may have come into play more than anybody realizes because that second quarter, they scored 2 touchdowns in 4 plays.
Right.
And, we're driving the ball down the field to have to score. And, they were, still back and forth. They were winning whatever at that time. But, we were wearing their offense was wearing their defense out.
Yeah. And the thing is, special teams were good, pinned them back in there a couple times. But,
yeah,
it is what it is. They could not run the football. And when you have Lenore Sellers, I don't get it. Like, what? You should be able to run the football. He should be able to run it.
My brother asked about that, and I said they're saving him for the second half. And sure enough, it's like they tried to run him in the second half, and he seemed to get away a couple of times, but it definitely was nothing like last year. It was just different.
But this year, with a different defense coordinator and the history of last year, we were playing zone with a spy. Sammy Brown stood in the middle of the field and spied Lenore Sellers the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, batted 3 balls down.
Right, in a row.
Yeah, that was.
But
odd too. That was pretty cool.
I thought the intensity on defense was better than I had seen out of Clemson, and you shouldn't have to turn it on for the big state game, but that they do. And then got a little chippy after the game. I mean, the bottom line is South Carolina beat South Carolina State, Coastal Carolina, who just fired their coach, Virginia Tech, who fired their coach earlier in the year, and Kentucky. That's who they beat.
Who got hammered by Louisville.
Yeah, and the ACC was 7-5. So I don't think – maybe it's not that much of a difference.
Man, I was wondering the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. But I was like you going into the game. I was worried we were not the better team, but then I got to thinking, I was giving them credit for their schedule. But then with some other things that has happened, I'm like, if we go out there and play, and I've said this on this show ever since we've been doing this show, there's a lot to emotion. Our kids, it's unfortunate that what happened through some of the games we had this season, but when they were playing LSU, when they were playing Florida State, they got up and they played. And I'm like, if the kids, and I think they'll look at this as a big game, and they did, and they played better. I had somebody point out a guy I coached football with said he thought it was the best tackling Clemson has done all season. So
right, I mean it was good. Let's continue to do that.
Well, speaking of continuing, hang on, getting another update about Lane Kiffin. He is supposedly he's planning on having jambalaya for lunch. Jambalaya. Maybe I'm sure that's code.
Are we going to quit getting updates here soon about Lane?
We got a couple. No,
if they're not on the plane, they're not on the staff. He took 4 assistants with him. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah, let's do it.
You just had the most successful season in school history
ever.
Your team is hot and heading into the college football playoff, and you bail on them.
Well,
what?
And it's so let's say he did it for money. How much more money? Is it, what, $3 or $4 more million a year? Is that right?
He wanted to stay.
Well, for the rest of this season.
I'm glad Ole Miss told him you're not doing that, big guy. You're not going to get your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. When I heard that, it hit me that I have, and I could be wrong, but I have heard no reports of Ole Miss offering him an extension, trying to match the salary or anything. It's almost as if they're fine with him leaving. Thanks.
Well, I mean, maybe he had worn out his welcome. That's right. What he's done everywhere else he's been.
Yeah. So I've heard that as well. So this has been the strangest. If this is any sign of what college football is going to be like, I'm just going to be honest, as a fan, sign me up, because it's like a soap opera for, middle-aged guys that love football. Every week, somebody, I hate people losing their job. That's bad, but this is entertainment. Everybody gets paid. We watch. This is entertainment. So if you look at it like, they're going to hop from one job to the next. So if you look at, they're going to go like James Franklin, he's fine. You know, his family's not going. They're going to be able to put food on the table. So as a fan, drama. Who's getting it this week? Who's going where? The coaching carousel. The SEC has basically promoted group of 6 coaches. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I don't remember who matched up with who.
Tulane's going to Florida. Memphis is going to Arkansas. And
that kind of thing.
South Florida is going to the other job.
Yeah, the other one. So that's
What's
interesting.
The other job? We should know this.
Well, you know, we make sure we have music at the tailgate, and that's what's important.
Arkansas, right. Their fans have called for a protest of the hiring of the coach.
Are you
because
serious?
They said he's a mid-major who was on the hot seat, and he got hired at Arkansas. Auburn hired the guy from South Florida.
Everybody that got those jobs were doing really, really well. I thought North Texas, they were doing really well. South Florida, Tulane, the guy from Tulane.
No, North Texas is the guy that went to Auburn, right? I don't
know. That well, like you say, then good. That's even more drama. We got drama in Mississippi, drama in Arkansas, and there's definitely drama in the ACC. The Atlantic Coast Conference could be the not smartest conference known to man.
Duke.
You've got all this money. Everything is about making the playoffs. You got all these teams, and we don't have the forethought to think, wow, we can have a bunch of teams tied. How are we ever going to decide who should play in our conference championship game where the winner should gets a bid for the playoffs to get at least one team in the playoffs? Did they not ever think that the tiebreaker should be whoever is ranked highest in the college football rankings?
Well, that would certainly help the cause of the ACC because Miami's not in the game. They're going to be the highest ranked team. And if Duke slips up, let's say, Virginia, let's hope they win. Put them in.
If Duke wins,
then the ACC might get 0.
2 questions. Is the committee going to have to rank? How many teams are they going to have to rank to get the top 5 conference champions in the rankings? So right. We don't even know where Duke falls in that scheme with the other group of 6 teams. So Tulane was like 24th this past week, and they won. So they're ahead of Duke. And then you had James Madison
ahead of Duke. Clemson's ahead of Duke.
James Madison had been in they've been in the rankings like 1 week and lost and got out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. But JMU they've been up there. They've been talk. Those 2 teams are probably ranked. And Duke can't argue that they should be ranked ahead. Can they argue that they should be ranked if they beat Virginia?
No.
Because they lost to UConn. Their losses are to the group of 6 teams. It's unreal.
Yeah,
and then
if we got a pass interference call, it would have been to Clemson. We wouldn't even be having this discussion.
No. Well, and you got Miami. So this is my prediction. First of all, I think Virginia will beat Duke. I think Miami will jump. Tuesday night, Miami's going to jump to number 10. Bama, they only beat Auburn by 7. They'll make up some blah, blah, blah. Bama's going to 11. And they're going to close that gap between Notre Dame. Notre Dame's still going to be 9. Miami, and they're going to put Miami. They got the same record, and Miami won the head-to-heads, and they're going to put them right there at 10. And Alabama is going to get bumped to 11, and then BYU is going to get bumped to 12. That's my prediction. And when the conference championship games are over, maybe they play around a little more, but other than that, so I think Miami's going to be in. That's just my prediction.
You would say Alabama would have to win against Georgia to get in.
Correct. So And see,
And
that
then
might bump
that bumps
Miami,
somebody else out.
and
Because
it
Georgia's
might
not going
bump
to fall out.
probably not Georgia. So then the committee might bump Miami back out, but they'll be able to stand on some laurels and say that, we had them in until blah, 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 something. Oklahoma might get knocked out.
No,
They
I
didn't
hope
look
not.
real good, honestly,
No,
against
well,
LSU.
that's how they play. That's how they play.
Well, if you start
win.
throwing the whole eye test thing out there, that didn't help them at all.
Hashtag winning.
And the only loss, well, when the quarterback was hurt was when they lost, right? I mean, when that quarterback hadn't been hurt.
Yeah, he didn't
came
play
back
great
and was
yesterday. But it was, I mean, LSU makes people play ugly anyway.
This is true.
We saw that.
All right, so we know the ACC, they need to, I mean, I just don't understand. Hopefully they'll fix it. But anyway, speaking of the college football playoffs, the only team that lost in the top, I think 12 or maybe 14 was A&M. They're not going to fall out of the top 10. They might fall 3 or 4 spots or whatever. So that, somebody in there will move up. The only ones that are going to play around with are, in my opinion, are Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Miami, Alabama, BYU. BYU got hammered by Texas Tech the first time they played. If they get hammered again, they probably won't feel bad about knocking them on out of there, even though they only have 1 loss. But I think Miami's going to jump them. I just think they will. All right. Speaking of the postseason for our Tigers, I got rumor on here, but the reports have Clemson headed to either the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, which will be played on Friday, December 19th at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, scheduled for a 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff live on ESPN. And that's a team from 2 teams either from American, ACC, or SEC conferences. All right,
Most likely Tampa, South Florida.
Possibly. Right,
that's where they play.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's Friday. That's a pre-Christmas game, Friday afternoon at 3:30. I mean, whatever. All right. Or the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. One of our favorite tasting bowls, right, Bailey?
Definitely up there with Pop-Tarts, Cheez-Its, and Duke's mayonnaise.
Yeah. That one's scheduled for noon on New Year's Eve, and that's going to be between an ACC and a Pac-12 team. Pac-12?
Well, see, you have these projections. I
got that from their website.
And I don't the experts on ESPN have said they would either play on 12/27 in the Fenway Bowl, which
I've heard that
Boston,
one.
or the Sun Bowl against Arizona State.
Oh, okay. A former Pac-12 team.
Yeah. The Sun Bowl, used to come on every year on Christmas Day. I'll never forget it. Anyway.
Yeah.
But CBS has them going to the Gasparilla Bowl, and then Athlon and some other service has them in the Pinstripe Bowl on the 27th, which is at Yankee Stadium. And that's either Nebraska or Illinois.
All right, so out of those games, this is Fun Fans Podcast, which one is the best trip? Which one sounds like the most fun?
I mean, none of them.
One's got to be the most.
Well, I'll tell you where they're going to go. They're going to end up in Tampa because last year, if you remember, I was in Austin, Texas, and left 4 days before the game.
Right.
Well, I'm going to be in Tampa through that Tuesday and leave on Tuesday, the 16th, and they play on the 19th.
Oh, well.
But the actually, you know what? Let's say the Sun Bowl.
Yeah.
Where's that? El Paso?
El Paso, Texas.
Man, I bet they got some good food.
Yeah, man. I bet that'll be a fun trip. You got Tony the Tiger stuff all over the place. Talking about how great things are. It's awesome.
Wonder if you get free Frosted Flakes.
I hope so. But yeah, I hear those. Just speaking of the Pac-12, they will be back next year, is my understanding. they're pulling a bunch of teams out of the Mountain West and some other places. But anyway, all right. So that's what we're looking forward to. Honestly, I have no plans on going to any of those bowl games for various reasons. You never know, but more than likely it is not going to happen. Definitely not on that Friday at 3:30, Friday, December. Anything before Christmas is probably out.
I mean, at least you'd be home for Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
There might be. Didn't you say?
Like
you
the
said there was jab. All right.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. All right, give us a basketball update.
Oh, big week for Clemson basketball. They are right hot off of the win at the Charleston Classic or whatever it's called. They beat two, West Virginia and Georgia, and they went from first four out on the bracketology to in. But this Wednesday night, ACC SEC Challenge, they drew the Crimson Tide of Alabama, top 10 team on the road, which the last time they played at Alabama, they beat them. And then next Tuesday, they play in the Jimmy V Classic in Madison Square Garden against BYU, who has the best player in the country. So it's getting tougher. Get opportunities for quad one wins.
Well, and this is time of year to get better too, so for sure.
Well,
all right.
The trip to Charleston, they were down in both games and came back. That's that grit.
They look good.
Grit.
They look
pretty good.
I mean, those were not.
They just and then they play the Gamecocks. Not this weekend, but next.
Coming up, have some game at here in Greenville.
Yeah, they play at Bon Secures on the 21st versus Cincinnati, another quad 1 or 2 game. So that'd be good.
Yeah, the Fun Fans may be making an appearance at that one. Just in
tickets
case.
On Ticketmaster, $40. Doesn't matter what seat you sit in.
All right, awesome, very good stuff. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. It is our year for bragging rights in the state, Bailey. This is our state, right?
363 more days.
Enjoy the upcoming championship games and check it out. Our bowl special comes out, but we will be back next Sunday to talk about where folks are going, et cetera, with those rankings. We'll see if we're correct. Thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media and please share. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, Jay Thriller Entertainment, Greenville Sports Media, and Bailey Jackson.
Hey, better luck next year, Gamecocks.
Beamer guarantees it. Thanks for listening.